Okay, on this Pollock Academy, we're going to look at FDR's New Deal for America. And you remember the old deal, right? In 1929, America entered the Great Depression, where we see 1/4 or 25% of the country out of work and not contributing to that circular flow that keeps the economy going. So when Franklin Delano Roosevelt, or FDR, entered the presidency, he ran on this New Deal platform. And the idea was simple: to create jobs and get Americans back working. And in order to kickstart the economy, FDR created close to 70 of these government-funded alphabet agencies due to their 3 to 4 letter nicknames. The ones you always see are CCC, WPA, FERA, PWA, and so on. And these alphabet agencies put people to work. It didn't matter what your skills were, you were working. Let me show you an example in our area. This is the Phoebus Post Office in Hampton, Virginia. The Phoebus Post Office was built by the PWA, or the Public Works Administration, in 1938. The PWA obviously paid an architect to design the building, a construction team to build the building, and if you go inside, they paid an artist to paint a mural. And this was very common, to hire skilled workers and then artists to work as a team. Usually the WPA, or Works Progress Administration, was known for hiring sculptors and painters. Look at this example in the Smithfield, Virginia Post Office. And here I am in front of David Stone Martin's painting, Electrification, in the post office in Lenoir City, Tennessee. Okay, Pollock Academy listeners, I'm going to shift the focus of this video into one particular alphabet agency. I've already talked about a couple already, where the goal was to create jobs and get Americans working and kickstart the economy. So now I'm going to shift focus into my favorite alphabet agency, which is the TVA, or the Tennessee Valley Authority. So what draws me to the TVA? Well, I think it's the mix of history and science and recreation all rolled into one that these TVA projects brought to America. And there's so many examples that are here today, like the one I'm sitting in front of right now. This is the Norris Dam in Norris, Tennessee. I'm also standing in front of it at the title slide of this video. But the Norris Dam was a huge project, one of the earliest the TVA took on back in 1933, and it opened just 3 years later in 1936. Let's learn some more. Okay, so let's talk about the TVA, or the Tennessee Valley Authority. The TVA was a New Deal alphabet agency aimed at improving life and agriculture in the 7 states that made up the Tennessee River Valley. What the TVA is most known for is bringing electrification by way of hydroelectric power, which is electricity through water energy. Before the TVA, life in the Tennessee River Valley was a little, I guess you could say, behind. To prove my point, look at these 2 pictures. You would think this was the 1800s, not the early 1900s. I mean, come on, this dude's on a steel plow. In the 1920s and 30s, this area was over half poor farming families, and 96% of these families did not have electricity, and only 3% had running water. Plus, the Tennessee River Valley was prone to dangerous flooding, and the Great Depression didn't help either. So the TVA began to build dams along the Tennessee River to control flooding, and they also brought social and educational opportunities to the rural residents of the Tennessee Valley. And of course, affordable electricity. The TVA built these dam sites with tourism in mind. Their sites had visitor centers, and they hired artists to create poster campaigns with catchy slogans: built for the people, electricity for all, and when we get to World War II, power to win. Not only are these dam sites functional, but the surrounding areas are state parks, offering a wide variety of recreation for its citizens. Anything from boating, to fishing, to hiking and camping. The TVA today is still operating as a power company, and still providing services for the people of the Tennessee Valley. And there are a handful of New Deal agencies still around, like this one, the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. They protect your deposits in banks. Next time you go to the bank, look for this sign on the window of the teller. Another one that's still around is the FHA, or the Federal Housing Authority. They offer mortgage assistance to first-time homebuyers. And probably the biggest New Deal program that's still around is Social Security, which allows you as the worker at 65 or older to retire. And to wrap it up, the New Deal wasn't so squeaky clean. Many New Deal agencies early on discriminated against workers, and opportunities for women grew slightly, but early in the New Deal, women's work opportunities were low paid. Like my ancestor, Mary Morrison Slade, worked for the WPA sewing project. It wouldn't be until the late 1930s that we see women taking on leadership roles, like Dr. Mary Bethune-Cookman, who was director of the Division of Negro Affairs and the head of the NYA, or National Youth Administration. Did FDR's New Deal solve everything? Well, no. It wouldn't be until World War II that we would see America rise up out of the Great Depression, as many men were needed for war and many jobs are available in defense industries. But the New Deal legacy brought about a different role for government in Americans' lives and the projects built by Americans which still stand today. Thanks for listening to Pollock Academy, the New Deal, and the TVA.